Thanks for making it Veterans Info Tap. Glad you made it today. Today, I wanted to talk to you about your ticket to a 100% rating. Now, there's 15,000 different roads to get to the 100% rating, and there's roads to get to the permanent and total, all that good stuff. This is just one other road that you can take, right? So, with that, what I wanted to talk about was the PACT Act and the presumptive conditions within it. Don't discount these. If you served Gulf War era or Vietnam era, always look at the presumptive condition list. These conditions, if you have them today, tomorrow, a year from now, 2 years from now, knowing what things are on that presumptive list could be worth thousands and thousands of dollars to you, because you'll be able to not only file a claim for that condition if you serve during that time frame and not have to have a nexus, which means you don't need to prove that this time in service caused this condition. The VA has already conceded to that. So very important to understand the power that these presumptive conditions have. Now, the VA is now processing the new PACT Act conditions that are listed as presumptive. So that started January 1, so they're processing those. If you've not filed in the past, now is the time. If you were denied in the past, refile if you were denied. And now here's the thing. With the ticket to getting to 100% rating, look, some of us can get out and we end up getting a couple large ratings and bam, we're at 100%. And others, it might be, you're playing a game of Tetris trying to figure out how to get everything put in there. And it's not that anybody's cheating the system, it's just that it's unfolding all of the rules and understanding how to play by the VA rules and filing for what you are eligible and entitled to, right? We didn't write the rules. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't read the rules, and then we get stuck in this little, circle of, you're stuck at 30% type of a thing. So if you read the rules and you understand what you are eligible for, then you can go ahead and file for these things. Now, when you're trying to get to that 100% rating, it's important to understand that if you have a couple really good conditions to get rated for, and by the way, this is the only world where bad things you say good. Like, oh, yeah, I got this horrible whatever. Good, because you're going to get a higher rating, whatever. It's kind of twisted, but hey, we're veterans, right? So with these presumptive conditions, what you're going to be able to do is two things. One, file for a condition that you have, right? Because you have a diagnosis for that condition that's listed as a presumptive in the comments below, or not comments, description below. And you're going to have that list. If you have anything on that, get a diagnosis for it, right? And if you serve during the time frame specified, you're going to file that claim, you're going to get awarded. Now, depending on the severity of your condition, and you did your research on your schedule of ratings to know exactly what warrants what rating. So in other words, make sure you don't miss one word with whatever signs and symptoms you have that the VA is looking for, because if you do, it could result in a much lower rating. For example, if you walked in for GERD, which is not a presumptive condition, but let's say you walked in for GERD and the CMP examiner asked you your signs and symptoms and you just said bad heartburn, and maybe you said you have a little bit of regurgitation, you are probably going to get maybe a 10%, right? If everything else is proven, like your nexus and that type of stuff. So if that's what that is. If you read the schedule of ratings and you went in and you said, yeah, I have difficulty swallowing, I have substernum pain, substernal type pain, I have bad heartburn, I have regurgitation, sometimes I'll vomit, I have pain that shoots up into my chest and shoulder, and I'm fearful that it's going to cause some real damage and I could potentially have cancer in my esophagus, and that would really not be good. I'm concerned. If you said something like that, you're looking at maybe a 30 or potentially a 60%. I think there's a couple other, pieces of that would get you to the 60. But the difference is, hey, look, a 30 or a 10, right? Where would you rather be? if you have all of those things, you need to make sure you articulate it. If you don't articulate it, they're not going to write it down. They don't write it down, the VA rater's not going to read it, which means then you're going to be rated at a lower rating. So make sure you're prepared for your C&P exam with even these presumptives, right? Because a presumptive is still going to have a range of ratings. So you want to make sure that you're articulating the appropriate information to the C&P examiner so you get rated where you should be, whether it's a 10, 30, 60, whatever you should be, right? So now, once you have that done, you're also going to potentially end up having secondary conditions from that condition, which then could also add up in value as far as your rating is concerned, helping push you closer to that 100% rating mark. Now remember, 100% in the VA's world is a lot different than our world, right? 50 and 50 is 100 in our world. In the VA's world, that's not the case. I'll give you a quick example on the VA funny math, which a lot of you may have known, but and you might have some sort of a concept on it. You may even know how to do it. I'll give you my kind of rough version of it. That's just an easy way to remember how they work. So let's say that you went into the VA claims process and you got awarded 3 50% ratings. You have 3 50% ratings and you're jazzed up, right? Well, 350 should be 150, right? Well, not now. Let's figure it out. So the VA is going to go, okay, look, your highest rating, in this case, they're all the same. Your highest rating is 50%. They're going to take that 50% rating and they're going to go, you are 50% bad. But you know what? That means you're still 50% good. Then they're going to take that 50% good and then they're going to go, okay, let's see your next highest rating. Okay, it's another 50. 50% of your 50% good is 25. 25 added to your 50 bad is now 75% bad. That means you're still 25% good. So then they're going to roll back over and go, okay, we got 25% good. Your next rating is 50%. 50% of your 25 is 12.5. That 12.5 gets added to your 75, taking you to 87.5. They'll stop there. Look, no more ratings. Okay, 87.5 rounds to 88. Then they're going to go, okay, that's your true raw score. Now we're going to round you to the nearest 10. That's when they're going to take you to 90. So 350s is really a 90 in the VA's world. So 90 is good. 100's better, so you need to keep going. I'm a big fan of high-value claims, but I'm also a fan of anything that you rate for, you should be compensated for. And in some cases, that extra 10% or 20% is what's going to take you over the edge to get you to a 100% rating. And remember, you don't need 100% in the funny math, you need 95. 95% in the funny math will then round to the nearest 10, going upward to 100%. So with that, thanks so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Like, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.